Okay, guys, welcome back to the Irving's Peak Performance Podcast. This is episode 4, I think. 4. So we've got our next guest on. It's Andy Scott. Andy, you want to just give us a wee bit of a blurb of who you are, what you do, and all that kind of stuff?
All that good stuff. Yeah, as you said, I'm Andy Scott. I'm competitive bodybuilder, IFBB pro. I've been competing since I was 19, so that's going on That's 2012. What year is this? 13 years. 13 and a half years, so it's been a good career with that. Done well as a junior, came up through the men's ranks as well, and then eventually won my pro card last year. I've been coaching for almost 10 years. In April next year will be when I joined Pure Gym Bath Street, and
10 years, isn't it? Right.
10 years ago. So it's been good because personal training was something I feel and coaching was something I kind of feel I fell into a wee bit. But it ended up being the best decision I've ever made. So it's one of those ones where initially I didn't really want to combine like my hobby and my passion with my job because I thought the two might be conflict there.
Yeah.
But then when I did it, I was like, this is actually a lot of fun. I wish I'd done it. But that's hindsight's a brilliant thing when it comes to things like that. So yeah, it's been a good bit of time.
So was it? Yeah, is that when you first started coaching, like 10 years ago? Were you doing like online stuff?
I'd done wee bits and bobs, so I had maybe like 10 online clients, probably around the time like online started to become a thing. So when I won my first British in 2013, a few guys approached me in the gym to train them, and so did online with them. And then, but it was just like a handful of clients. It was nothing mental. I was still at uni at the time, so it was a good way to earn a little bit extra money and do it that way. But like officially starting would have been April 2016.
Right.
Yeah.
What was your experience like in Pure Gym? Did you enjoy it? Aye.
I enjoyed the people, the guys I work with who I'm still good friends with today.
Okay.
But those first 6 months were horrific. Like
In what way? Like getting going and stuff?
Yeah, just to get going. But it's a guy like looks like me walking into a Pure Gym. I honestly, I was a bit naive. I thought
Like
I'd have
Fitness.
I thought I'd have like 40 hours
Yeah.
after my first month. And it took me ages just to get my first client. Once I got my first client and people saw me training people in the gym, it was okay after that. But that first 6 months, I did think about packing it a few times, just because I was just like, why is this? Why is this not moving? And again, I wasn't really promoting myself well. I probably had a face like a slapped arse walking around the gym and all that as well as this kind of hardcore bodybuilder. But over time, I kind of realised what I needed to do to just kind of be a bit more approachable. And then, like I said, I think it was about September 2016, I was like, okay, right, I'm starting to pick up momentum now. And then fortunately went on rent in February of 2017. Right. So it was a relatively quick period to go on rent in a Pure Gym, so I was dead chuffed for that. And then from there it's been fine from that point.
I remember you told me about you going doing spin classes and stuff like that.
3 a week.
Would pay to see you do spin classes now.
3 a week, mate. I would have a heart attack. You'd have to have some sort of defib ready for me. 3 spin classes a week. 2 of them were back to back on a Monday morning.
Shit.
So it was like the 6:30 and then like the 7:15 or something. And I remember the first time I'd done it, everyone left. I was like, thanks, I'll see you later. And then I just lay on the floor until the next class came in. So when the first person came in for the second class, I was just like, all right, just pure dying. But I got used to it. Actually, my fitness went up and like blood pressure came down. So it was actually quite beneficial. So
to be fair play, you were actually tracking that stuff.
Yeah. So that was... I didn't particularly enjoy that. I didn't enjoy taking classes. That's just not my thing at all. And I know there's PTs and coaches out there who love that side of things. Obviously, High Rocks and all that is all the hype just now. So, but that was not my thing. It was the one-to-one PT I loved and I still do. But yeah, the classes and all that sort of stuff are pretty brutal. I can see people like, if they told, like, some of the managers were like, you need to be a bit more enthusiastic at your classes. Like, I don't care, mate. I don't care. So you won't pick up clients. I was like, I don't care. Like, it's not my thing. So I don't expect people to pick up PT off my classes. So it was one of those ones.
So obviously, you kind of mentioned that you felt when you first went in, like, there was a big intimidation factor about you, probably the size of what you looked like, maybe like what your face was like as well. But like, I think a lot of people, and I definitely advise people to do this, is like get in shape. But there's obviously a point of like diminishing return. You think, like, because if you look the part, like you look like you're in shape, you look like you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're going to attract more clients. People are going to be drawn to you. You think there's a bit of a diminishing return
I
there?
think there's a bit of an upper ceiling.
Once you get too big and you're too peeled and too away from what people think is
Aye,
realistic,
the norm of the
then it's
exactly.
going to go against you.
Yeah, there definitely is an upper ceiling, but I could do nothing about that at the time. So what I had to just try and do was have you been in? Yeah, you have been in Bath Street. Aye, so you know the mid floor. That's where the changing rooms are.
I never trained. It was obviously just for posing and seeing and stuff like that. I never.
So there's on the mid floor. There's like tables outside the changing rooms, and I would sit there and like just pretend to be in my laptop. So just say it was like I was in there. Just say I had shift from like 6 a.m. till 11. I would stay in like 11 till 3. In those 4 hours, I would do a bit of work for the clients I did have, but I would sit there and just pretend to type. And then when people pass me, like, morning or afternoon or what, how you doing? And then that way, that kind of helped over time. And there was one time someone just came upstairs. I went, hiya. And then she came back at the changing room. She's like, are you taking on clients? Like, literally like that. And I was like, that's what I need to do. I actually need to interact like a human being. And I wouldn't say it was hard because I'm quite talkative naturally. It's just this exterior that's intimidating. But
peel back the onion layers.
But I came up in hardcore bodybuilding gyms. Yeah. So where no one, well, they did speak to each other, but you know what I mean? It's kind of like that spit and sawdust type places. And it took me a wee while to kind of mold my mind and my business into like the mainstream gyms and stuff like that. So it took a bit of time to undo the bodybuilder in my head, basically.
Yeah. Because that's definitely a big thing. I feel like now more than ever that people just rely on like the social media side of things, but really especially when you're in a commercial gym, like you do need to have that case of like that was your version of like walking the floor and just talking to people. It's just about being sound, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
Try to punt PT, like you're not sitting there going, do you want PT?
I know.
I thought about it, but it obviously worked.
Yeah, like I said, it was like my first PT client was a girl called Joy, and I remember just as soon as that happened, like people, he trains. He actually is a normal, like you can actually speak to people.
He's a human being. He's a human.
And then after that, it kind of just it did take off, and then people came to me for prep in the 2017 season. Luckily, before I even started full time in 2016, I did have a few guys on stage that actually won and did quite well in the Scottish scene. So that gave me a wee bit of kind of like confidence into what I was doing. And the 2017 season was good for me in terms of competitors and that, and then it's kind of went from there. Obviously, there's peaks and troughs in terms of the competitive side of things because I'm not a full-time prep coach and I don't want to be. I love the balance that I have, but with the competitors, obviously, when you're taking someone from an off-season setting to peeled, it's clear you know what you're doing, or at least for the most part. And even that appeals to the mainstream. So I think once the competitors started gathering the transformations on that side, the lifestyle also kind of picked up for the back of that. So
especially when like not all the competitors are going to be like the level that you're at. Like probably none of them, to be fair. But like then it's a bit more relatable. Like even me, but when you first started coaching me in 2019, like that would have been relatable to people to some extent. Although maybe some would think that's unrealistic, but you get the gist.
Yeah.
You said obviously you didn't really want to combine your hobby and your work. What was it that made you like go down that route in the first place rather than because it was engineering? You did at uni, wasn't it?
So I'm an engineer to trade. So I graduated in 2015 from Strathie. That's the reason I moved to Glasgow. And so my degree is subsea engineering, and obviously very oil and gas based. And that year, the oil industry, well, it was 2014, but obviously the aftermath of it, the oil industry tanked and saw just North Sea oil just go in the bin, really. So the company actually had a graduate position lined up to start in 2015. So during my master's year, I wasn't doing interviews. I wasn't applying to anywhere because I've already got something lined up. So why bother? Right. And then the company that I was with, they laid off like 40,000 people worldwide, and I was like, great. And then the graduate program in the UK was one of the things that they got rid of. So I got an email and it was just like, you haven't got your job anymore. I think they did keep on a few graduates because you kind of have to, but I was one of them that thought, nah, you're shite, off you go. And so I looked all around. I applied to the fire service. I thought about going back to uni to do a PhD, which I'm so glad I did not do. I know. What else? I applied to car showrooms. Everything. I couldn't get anything.
Imagine you did that. That'd be brilliant.
I know. I applied to Ford. Was it in East Kilbride?
Right.
I think it was East Kilbride. I remember showing up to the interview and the guy looked at my CV and he was like, "You're far too overqualified for this, mate." I was like, "No one's hired in the oil and gas industry. I'm telling you right now." And he's like, "Job's there if you want it, mate." And I was like, "Okay." He's like, "I'd tell you what, take the weekend to think about it. Phone me on Monday morning, and if you don't want to do it, just say." So I phoned him Monday morning. I was like, "Yeah, I'm a fuck taking that job, mate. No chance. I'm not doing that. I can barely sell PT, let alone cars. You know what I mean?" So, and then I had an interview in January 2016 in London, and it was very specific to my degree. And you know, you're just in an interview, you're just like, "I've not got this." I didn't slip up, but like you could tell they were a bit like, "Yeah, that's kind of right," but. And then in the airport on the way home, I like paid for my level 3, level 2, level 3. Bought a course, like it was Train Fitness. I don't even know if they're still around anymore. And then got that, and then started PT in April 2016. So that's the reason I fell into PT, because
So
I kind of had
didn't
to.
have any option.
No, I had no option. I was like, right.
It's all about the passion.
I
and
know. But the thing is, though, like I'm sure you've seen it as well. Is that you've got PTs that come into the industry, and they've got like a wee job on the side. They do something on the side to kind of keep them afloat, which is absolutely fair enough. But I feel when you're thrown in the deep end, like you're minus 3,000 in your bank account, you've got no money coming in, and you have to be like, right, I need to graft to make this work. And it probably was the best thing for me to not have something on the side, you know, kind of not slow me down. That's definitely the wrong way to think about it. But like a safety net. I had no safety net really other than my parents, but that definitely propelled me, I think, because I was like, nah, I need to be on this. And that's why I sat in the gym for hours at a time pretending I was doing stuff on my laptop, because I just had to do that. So
I think that is a big thing that people don't do, like, because everybody wants to be a PT or a coach, and think it's the great lifestyle and stuff, and it's going to be dead easy. You found it wasn't and stuff. There's a lot of stuff you need to do like for free and like put a lot of time in. But loads of people like start with like they do another job, and then they start part time as a PT, but it becomes very, very hard to like leave that security blanket.
Exactly,
like, right. At what point does it become realistic? Like, how many clients do you need to make that jump? Because probably most works aren't going to go, you know what, you can drop down 5 hours, 10 hours, 15 and slowly merge in. That's not going to happen.
That doesn't work like that.
And then I agree with you. I think you need the pressure. And then it's also like weighing up, right, if you work 40 hours in another job, imagine you get 40 hours back just to put into like growing your business, just spending time at the gym, like getting to know everybody. It's going to pay off.
Oh yeah,
so much.
Oh,
and obviously
exactly. did. Yeah. So, I'm like I said, I'm glad it happened that way. Hindsight's a brilliant thing. At the time, I was like, "This is fucking shite. This isn't fucking happening." 100%. I was raging. I remember just like speaking to my girlfriend at the time, just being like, "Why do folk not just come up to me and ask for PT? Like, I clearly know what I'm doing." But obviously, it's not solely about image. It's about the whole package and that. So, and then over time, we kind of developed that.
Yeah. What do you think of it? Because you did a little bit of it, but like, what do you think of like people that say out now that they get qualified and they just want to go and do like online or be a prep coach or whatever? Do you think it's like never going to happen?
It's not never going to happen, but I think you need to be a one-to-one PT first to be a really good online coach. You can be a okay online coach, having never PT'd, but I think the best online coaches, I mean, even the prep coaches we've worked with and spoken to, they started as PTs. And I think if you can't speak to someone in person and convey emotion, ideas, theories and stuff like that in person, you are not going to do it across a laptop or WhatsApp. So I think the one-to-one side of things is you should start there, even for a wee bit, and then move to the online. I think everyone thinks online is sitting in Dubai with your 50 clients, just sitting watching money roll in. It does not work like that. Yeah. It does not work like that. Like the amount of people, I'm sure you're the exact same, that you've seen go straight to online, and then they're like, "Oh, how you doing?" I was like, "Yeah, like had one inquiry in like 3 months." I was like, "Yeah, that's like you need to develop yourself as a PT first. I think personally, and then move into the online realm." So do you still PT?
I've got one PT client.
Okay. So you still do a bit then?
I've got one.
See,
I take the odd online client for a session as well, and I enjoy it.
That's the thing. I enjoy it. I still enjoy one-to-one. I tried full-time online, and it wasn't for me at the time. It might be going forward. I don't know where my career's going, but I love doing one-to-one, and I like having a place to work, and I like having like colleagues and stuff like that, like a normal workplace. So yeah.
I I don't know if this was the case or what happened when you went fully online. Like, did you just get a bit scunnered because the amount of like online, and it definitely happened for me. Like, you just get failed. You're just sitting at a laptop on your own.
Aye.
It's not, and it's just fucking. If you're busy, it's just fucking check-ins and plans, and
Aye,
and that's it.
and
Whereas
numbers and that, yeah.
you get relationships, you get rapport, you get a laugh. Like,
Aye.
whether it is with work colleagues or it is with your clients and
That's
stuff.
it, yeah. No, I was the exact same.
Aye.
Yeah, the exact same. And it was, it would be like, it wouldn't just be that. Just say you got a quieter kind of check-in day, and you're done by like 10 o'clock in the morning. You're like, right, what do I do for the rest of the day? I'm not training today. So, yeah, it became an office job. At the time, like I said, I do see myself going fully online again down the line now that I'm a wee bit older. But at the time, it just seemed like a bit of an office job. And like I said, the PT's exact same as you. I love going in and training clients and putting them through paces and that. Even with online clients, like you can hand them a training plan, and for a lot of people, they're not executing it the way you want it done. So you have to have one-to-one PT at some point in order to allow the online client to fully appreciate and get what they want from the actual plan you've sent them. So I think that's a big aspect of it as well.
And obviously, it's getting bigger and bigger. Like, a lot of people think, like, as in clients come to you and they think, I don't need PT. But so many of them fucking do need PT. And it's even the case of like, well, if you get trained off of someone at a certain level, you'd get more out of the session. I would get more out of the session when you PT me.
Yeah.
So it's never hanging near.
What do you think the percentage is of people who sign up for online that actually need one-to-one?
Probably is maybe even higher than 50%.
I was going to say higher than 50%. Aye.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like, see people who have never even, I've had inquiries, I'm sure you have as well, where they've not even been at a gym before. You're like, online is not for you. Go do an RDL. What's an RDL? Exactly. Like, you know what I mean? So it's, that blows my mind, that one. So I've actually said to them, look, here's, like, if I have very limited space for PT, but I'll say so-and-so PT at this gym or so-and-so PT at that gym are really good, so go to them. So, yeah, it applies to kind of people as well.
Because it's not, a lot of the time it isn't people that have never been in a gym. Do you think it's just like, I don't know, naive to like what their ability is or something like that? I don't know.
Maybe, or it's just like, maybe they just think I'm on the ball. It's like, then they send you training footage. You're like, you were absolutely not on the ball with anything training wise. And I mean, there's only so much you can do with a training, like with training footage that a client sends you. So one-to-one PT is definitely the better route for a lot of people. Yeah. So
I think even when you get the online clients and you try to get them to send your videos and stuff, and then they just don't do it. Like, you can get so much out of doing that stuff as well. I know. And it's just like gets totally undervalued. I know how to move the weight. You're like, you might be moving the weight, but that's not what it's meant to be like.
Nice. Or you get like someone who's, I'm 10 out of 10 nutrition, I'm 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. And you're like, why the fuck are they not progressing? And then they finally send you training footage. You're like, right, okay. Now it all makes sense. Like, you know, your training's abysmal. So I always find that quite comical, but I'll say to them, look, just send me one video. There's 30 exercises in your plan. Send me one. Just please send me one. And then they finally do, and it's kind of like, the phone's propped up on their shaker like that. And like, it's a horrendous angle. You're like, I can't fucking see anything from that.
And half the body's out, and you're like, I mean, I need to see your hips and that bit, like, not just your back going up and down.
Or like a hack squat from the front like that. Like, that's a horrible angle, mate, but cheers for that.
And it's always the ones that have actually got decent form that send you like 8 videos through, and you're like, that's pretty solid. Like, we don't need to look at that. We don't need to look at that.
You've sent me the same videos for a year, mate. You're good. You know what I mean? It's got all those ones, but it's good that they're like, I always try and say to people, like, it is good that they have that. If you've got a client who always sends you footage, I think that's brilliant. But there are some like lifts, like, mate, I was perfect last time. Like, you can send me something else. But so it's always good to keep tabs.
So you're definitely in agreement anyway. Most people should start on the gym floor. More than anything.
Definitely.
What do you, when you see, even if it is online coaches or PTs, I don't know if Future have many brand new PTs, but like, what do you see most of the time with like people coming into the industry, like they do wrong? Do you work with quite a few coaches yourself?
Yeah.
Many of them kind of new or no? They're all pretty experienced.
I think they're relatively experienced. Right, okay. Yeah, relatively experienced. But Future, it's rare a first time PT comes into Future.
They've got a large membership base, though, don't they? Like,
yeah, over 1,500.
So you maybe could go in there.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, I think you could. Maybe if you even have a wee bit of social media behind you as well.
Yeah.
But even then, when I was at Pure Gym though, that's you see the people coming in. I think what was the question is like how
like new coaches coming into the industry,
mistakes,
the issue, the main issue you always see with people. Like
just not being like I was. Just not being like forthcoming, not being
just putting yourself out there.
Put yourself out there, speaking to people. Even now, I still like, I would still struggle to walk up to someone and be like, "Hiya, Mandy." I probably would never do that, to be fair, but
that's it. You do what you said you done initially, and it's just like you start with like, "Hi, how you doing?"
Hi.
Nothing's. You don't need to say your name. Like, hiya. Next time, how you doing? Next time, what you training the day? Like it's pure standard things.
Yeah.
And you'll see the same people coming in more and more, won't you? And then you can go to the next thing of like, what you up to the weekend? It's Friday, so
aye. Just kind of just continue like just building that kind of rapport with someone. But I remember one of the guys I used to work with. He was like, the biggest problem like is you do your classes and then you'll go and sit in the staff room for hours at a time. I was like, you're no one can see you in the staff room. Go and sit in like I did and another PTs did as well. Just go sit on the gym floor and just, even if you're on your phone, like just say you're on shift at a pure gym or a gym group, whatever it is, just sit on your phone and like just say hi, just be visible. And that includes social media as well, obviously, where it's far easier to be visible. But just being visible on the gym floor is your number one bet. Like don't run off home when you've done your one and only client for the week. You know what I mean? Sit there on your laptop, write fake plans, write a social media schedule, whatever it may be. Just be visible on the gym floor. I think that's the best thing you can do. So,
and it's just treat it like it's a full-time job. If you've got no clients, you get 5 clients. Like that's 5 hours of the week, 2 hours for check-ins or plans or whatever. Like what are you doing with the other
exactly
33 hours? Like you should be there at least 20, like filling the time. Like like you said, be visible. Because no one else is seeing you.
Have you noticed like there's some PTs and coaches who convince themselves they're busier than they actually are?
Definitely.
So I think I've fallen in that trap a few times as well when I was just starting, where you think like you've got a PT client, you maybe haven't heard from them for like just say 2-3 weeks. And you're like, they're still they will eventually come back and pay me, and then you get a message, I'm not coming back, mate. I think a few PTs convince themselves they're busier than they actually are. And I think the best thing you can do is just be true to yourself. Like, I'm quiet. I need to ramp this up somehow. And there's been numerous times where I've just had to tell myself that, like, stop sitting about on your phone, like, go and do something productive. Like, even now, if I'm, like, every coach, no matter what level, has peaks and troughs in their numbers throughout the year and throughout the seasons and stuff like that. And it's about getting to those kind of points where you know there's going to be troughs and just being like, right, I need a little bit more proactive here. Just be visible, maybe post more on Instagram, just post your own workouts. Like, it's all stuff that people will see. And you don't know how long people have been watching you. Because I'd recently signed up an online client who said he was following me for like 5 years, but never interacted with me, nothing. And then all of a sudden one day took online coaching. So
me and Dale were literally just talking about that, like when we first started PT, like you took everything. Like I remember being in the gym every day, 6 o'clock, split shift. Like I would be there all day till 12, go somewhere else to train, or if I wasn't training in New Age at the time, I'd be back in until like 9-10 at night and stuff like that. And it's like filling my diary with like 3 sessions and stuff. And he was saying the same about a guy. I think he was like working on something roundabout, and he was always in the gym before he was taking his first client at 6, and he was like, would you take a client at 5? And he was like, aye, sound. But like a lot of folk nowadays are like, oh, no, I don't want to work that, or it's like, you've not got any fucking clients. Take what you can get.
Aye, you just don't know. Like I said, like just say you do take a 5 a.m. as an extreme example, you just don't know who's watching you at the time, and then that could be a 6 or 7 and 8 and 9. You just don't know.
A lot of people don't even doing 6 o'clock, but that was like the thing. It was It changed a wee bit with COVID though, didn't it? Like people, everyone get pushed a wee bit later because they're all in their house and just go back to their house and fuck about and stuff. Whereas before that, when I was PTing all the time, it was like 6 a.m. Like that was, you could always fill a 6 a.m.
Or a 7. Aye, definitely.
So
I've still got 6 a.m s. I've still got Des.
Is he 6 a.m?
Yeah, 2 6 a.m s a week. So
and he comes all the way through for Hamilton.
Exactly. Yeah, every day. Aye, so.
And he's the robotic, isn't he? Like by to the T. Like.
Aye, absolutely. So, I enjoy PT even to the extent I only live around the corner from my gym, so I'm not traveling half an hour to get to my work, so it is very different in that respect. So I can get up at my usual time, PT at 6, go back, do my meal prep, and that's my day started. So it's not out of my way to do 6 a.m s, but like I said, I still love PT and I love being busy as well. That's another thing as well. I don't like sitting still for too long. So that definitely kind of ties into that.
So going to Dubai and sitting by the pool and doing check-ins here and
Have you ever tried to be on your laptop by a pool?
No, I've not.
It's like the sun hits the screen to what you can't see what you're doing. It's not what people think it is.
If I try to do emails on my phone, it doesn't work out either.
No, exactly. So I've tried to sit by a pool and do work, and it's too distracting. Got a fucking pool in front of you. Like, you're not going to do work at the same kind of standard that you do if just sitting at a desk. Like, that's my hours. You know what I mean? So
do you do your check-ins when you're on holiday and stuff, or do you take a week off? No.
Yeah, I'll do check, but I'll tone them back. So like if I'm doing like a 5-minute loom as a response, it might just be, yeah, you're good, move on, or no, you're not good, do this, and that'll be it. But obviously, I tell my clients well in advance if that's the case. But I still like doing like keeping tabs on people. I don't want to. Like, people pay you a lot of money, so I feel it's a bit not rude, but like, you know, to go away even for like a week and not at least kind of stay on track, like. You're on that holiday, you paid for that holiday with their money, essentially, if you look at it that way. So to be like, fuck off, you know what I mean? So I do try and do a wee bit when I'm on holiday.
I think it's about getting balance. If you're away all the time, like, definitely you see people go away all the time, then yeah, you better be doing it on some holidays. But if it's like once a year or whatever, I don't think it's a big deal.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, when I went on that stag do, Kieran's stag do back in whenever that was, April, whatever it was, I did say there is no chance I'm doing check-ins.
Imagine.
Only my competitors only had 4. At that time, yeah, 4 competitors competing, so obviously I stayed on top of their check-ins, but I was like, no, I'm not replying. You can double up when I get back. So people do understand as well.
Well, from my standpoint, being a client and getting coached, I couldn't give a fuck if you take a holiday. I'm like, sound? Don't have an expectation that you should, but everybody's going to be different. There definitely will be people that are like, you better do my fucking check-in.
Oh,
paid you for the month.
100%. Yeah, definitely.
But yeah. So obviously we feel like that's one thing that should be pushed more with people making the effort and not pretending that they're busy. Do you feel like the actual quality of coaching's like changed at all, or do you feel like even though it's getting busier and busier and the coaching industry, it's holding its kind of standards? What's your opinion on that?
That's quite tough because it is. I don't like the word saturated. That kind of. I don't know. I just a bit too. That's too
you
strong.
Think it's saturated?
There's a lot of people doing it, but saturated. I don't know if is the right word.
My favourite thing to say is it's saturated with shite. So
right, okay. Yeah.
If you're decent, you're going to be fine.
1000%. Yeah.
If you put the effort in, you're going to be fine. I don't think it's there's so much competition. There's lots, like you said, there's lots of people doing it, but a lot of them fucking about. They're doing other jobs and stuff like that. Which I get it that it's going to happen, but like. They really can't go all in. They're not doing everything they possibly can do. They've not got 10 years like experience like ourselves. They've not got all these results and all that to show. So it's going to kind of shine through.
Yeah. What's the statistic again? It's like 80% leave the industry after a year or 2 years or something.
High anyway, 80 or 90%.
Yeah, something like that. So like we can get all like you said with all these like people. Oh, there's so many people. Blah blah blah. But it's like if you're good, like you said, you'll shine through. You definitely will shine through. And the thing in terms of like the standard, it is rising because you've got people at the very top who have got like coaches working for them and stuff. Like their standards are always moving, but like you said, there are people coming in thinking that they're the dog's bollocks. In reality, they're not. They've never got themselves in shape, let alone other people. So I
think you're right there. I never really thought about it like that. That definitely the people right at the top, like even like educators and stuff, that if we spoke to them, you're like, fucking hell. Like, you know, Paul Standell, like when he talks, you're like, fucking hell.
You just like, oh, Jesus.
But then probably if you look at like the average of the industry, I would probably say then that it's kind of diluting a bit just because of the numbers. But like we were saying before we came in here, like the amount of like info out there for everyone is mental now compared to 10 years ago, which is you think should drive the standard. Yeah. It's just like getting people to invest in that to an extent.
That's it. Yeah. So it's like you look at within the bodybuilding realm, like the standards across the industry in terms of like what they put out, their seminars, the level of client. Like you've got like Cal, who you've worked with, and I know personally, Cuba. And all that, like the level, the standard they're setting across the industry, I think is incredible, and like it's not as if like if you're anything, if you haven't got the experience, it doesn't mean you're not good. But it's like there's so many people to look up to, and people like you should be setting your standard to in the industry. And it's wild when you hear people like, oh yeah, it takes 2 weeks to get back to checking. It's like, what? Like, again, this job's not, it's time consuming. It's not hard. That's what I always say about coaching PT. It's not a hard job, but it's very, very time consuming. But you hear people like getting back to people 2 weeks later for a check-in, and it's like, that's pretty poor. So
like, especially when it's just standards.
Yeah, exactly. Because again,
more than applicable knowledge or whatever. Like
exactly. So, like, also if you're taking that long to get back to check-ins, what are you doing? Like, if you're not a full online coach, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, like I said, we've got so many people now at the top in the UK and worldwide, obviously, as well, that just have these like coaching levels. Like John Jewett I watch all John Jewett stuff and J3, and I would love to be able to be that level. But I don't feel I have quite the. I'd probably say it's more confidence in my ability to convey information like he does. I probably don't have that yet, but I think that level, like that kind of coaching standard, is what I kind of want to move up to.
Is there anybody you still kind of look up to in the industry? Like, would you say John, or would you say somebody else, or a few?
I would say John. Like, I do look up to the way Kuba conducts himself. I quite like the way he does
He's learned
things.
for John as well, to be fair.
Yeah, he has. Cal, I was always said, I think what Cal's managed to do in the past, well, how long has he been on the scene? Just say 10 years as well. Has been mental, like muscle mentors and all that before it.
When I moved him, and it went fucking a bit mental.
Yeah, Mark Colson, like they've all done incredible things in the industry, and that's the kind of who I probably would, if I saw their post, I'd be like, right, I need to do something along kind of those lines. And like I like the way, I know it's only social media, but I mean it's business at the end of the day. The way like Kuba does his reels, where he takes snippets from his YouTube and that. So I've tried to do that as well. So I take influence from a lot of people, but yeah, there's definitely that kind of benchmark people that you think, right, even yourself. I've seen some of your reels, I'm like, that's smart, like the way you do stuff in the gym, and I really like the way you do things as well. And so like, yeah, you take it from everyone. So
I really like John's stuff. He's how he, like you said, like how he conveys things. It's easy for like somebody like me to understand. Not that I've got poor knowledge, to be fair, but like it makes it a lot easier to understand rather than like if it was just somebody talking rapid at you that knows everything. Because that's when you really know it, isn't it? When you can
convey it. Yeah, I put it up on Instagram a few weeks ago.
I didn't remember, that's why I'm stealing it for.
I mean, the example I used in my post was like Brian Cox. Brian Cox is, you can't even fathom how smart he is and what he can understand with physics and astrophysics and stuff. But he's able to do these mad seminars to thousands of people where he essentially dumbs down physics that only, even out of physicists, only a small percentage can understand, and he conveys that. But yet we've got people who you literally think they're doing a post with a textbook in front of them, like talking about chemicals this, compounds this, blah blah blah. Or when it's come to exercise science or physiology, it's the Latin names of the muscle and stuff. You're like, you don't need to talk like that, mate. If you put it in layman's terms, because the vast majority of your audience want to hear it. I don't want to listen to like the way Thingy Bennett, Joe Bennett. I don't particularly like the way he talks, with like the way he talks about the muscles and connections and stuff like that. He's smarter than me, obviously way smarter than me, but I can't listen to that for too long because I'm just like, it's not going over my head, but I don't like when people talk like that. So
then you don't take it in as
well. You don't take it in, no. So I like analogy and like when dumbing things down. I quite like that. So
But it's just coming out of my head there when you were talking about like intricacies and stuff like that. What do you think of this like wee trend that goes about? I don't know if you see it pop up, and it's all the wee skinny guys, not people that I don't know any of them, wee guys that are doing these like Keegan flaps and all this random shit. Like, where the fuck has this came from? Like I've just seen more and more, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
I don't know.
Do you know where it came from? No,
I don't know where it came from, but like, not to. Yeah, absolutely to stereotype the guys that are doing it. They're all skinny wee boys.
It's all really young guys, though.
Really young guys, and I don't know. I think they just
who's the mantra? Who's the head guy doing this?
I don't know. Someone's convincing them that the way that they're doing things is superior to what the way it's always been done. Now, don't get me wrong. Every sport, every activity, and things like that moves forward we learn new things about the body and things like that and the science behind it. But in reality, the barbell row will build your back. The dumbbell row will build your blah, 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 blah. And I don't know, I think they just, it's kind of like that naivety of a teenager thinking, I'm the best, I know what's right. Mr. IFBB Pro doesn't know what he's talking about. He's loaded with gear, so therefore he has no idea what he's talking about. I do. It's like, you have 12-inch arms, mate. You do not know what you're talking about. And it will die a death. It will. I think it will kind of even out because you saw... I've seen so many waves of different trends with the industry, like the JP style, the one working, one back off. You've got like mad volume. It's changed from then, like Dorian Yates style in the 90s. It always shifts, but it always comes back to kind of the basic underlying principles. And but I honestly don't know what they see because like I watched YouTube when I was 16 and just looking at all these IFBB pros and like they look like that, copy that.
None of them are doing that.
No, none of them.
I don't know.
And the problem is as well, you've got people who sound smart telling you what's what. In reality, sounding smart isn't the same as application. So I think that's also like Mike Israel. I don't know what your opinion of him is.
I'm down.
I'm probably about the same. And I'm just like, it's just because he's funny. He conveys it relatively simply.
He's mega weird as well, though. He's funny sometimes, but he's mega weird.
And I'm just like, I think people have just been kind of they've been suckered by him. I think
he doesn't do that shit though, does he? I know he does.
Maybe he does,
mega stretch and stuff.
I don't know, but like, look at him. Like he's a bag of tatties. Like I don't know. I know for a fact if I was 16, I would not be listening to him. No chance. I'd be like, nah, I'm not going to listen to you, mate. So yeah.
Because there was obviously a trend like 3, 4, 5 years ago, and it was like big on biomechanics and banding and all this shit, which I personally love, and like. I know where that's came from, but I just don't know where this has came from. So
That's a good example. So I mean, I've had debates with like colleagues and people online. Like, I understand the principles of banding certain things and doing certain things, but do the vast majority need to do it? No, that's
the need for application.
Yeah, exactly. So whereas the stuff like we just mentioned there with the young kids doing all this weird shite.
That's the one I know, Keegan Flaps. I don't know the names of the rest of them, but it's random shit. Like
Kelso shrugs.
Kelso shrugs.
Yeah, so,
well, you do see Cuba do that, to be fair.
Yeah.
Finishes off, but that's it.
That's it, yeah. But then that's the thing. Like I said earlier, I look up to Cuba, but I don't agree with...
He's been doing that, actually. Well, a variation. Like doing a weird lat pull down.
Like the thing like that. Yeah. Like, I can look up to someone and not agree with what they do. Like, I saw that, I was like... Right, fine, but he has things like he has brought up his back, but this is where people fall into the trap.
He's never going to see this fucking podcast anyway.
You never know.
Andy Scott says that.
Put it down at the camera like that. But no, this is the thing is like Cuba can and people like him, they can barbell row 180 kilo, but it's not giving them the return they want. So then they move to more specific things, more specific training, like the stuff he's been showing. But the thing is, people forget he's already done that, the 180 kilo barbell row.
And he is still doing it. He's just
still
doing that.
Exactly. Yeah, he's just showing you that stuff. Whereas people look at that and think, that looks really specific and very scientific. Therefore, that must be what I need to do. It's like, no, you do not need to be doing that. So I think people are getting it misconstrued. And people are just they're being too specified before they've even done like the broad stroke stuff.
So whereas if you go into like the sciencey stuff, like mechanical tension is the thing that we know that grows muscle. So, but maybe they'll argue mechanical tension with a band and a fucking weird movement, that's going to do it for this bit of my lat.
Or like just use a hack squat, like everyone bans hack squats. Like, get a 5-plate hack first, and then play about with it. Don't put 3 plates on, even though you can barely do one, and then band it. Don't do that. So it's
mega tight and it slingshots you.
I think you have to, when it comes to bodybuilding principles and training, I feel sometimes you have to earn the right to do certain things, if that makes sense, in terms of the development of your own physique. So yeah, that's the way.
The other thing, I don't want to go on the greats all the time. The thing that gets me down in my gym is all the guys in the prime row. And they load everything on the top, and they throw the seat all the way back, and then they lead all the way back, and then I'm like, and then all my plates fall off and fucking smash into my machine. I'm like, just do it properly.
Aye.
Like, put it in the middle.
Aye.
Put the pad forward.
That's it.
Brace yourself against the pad. Don't fucking swing back against
I think you actually commented on my post of me doing it.
Yeah.
'Cause I had like 4 plates on it.
Aye.
But like that machine specifically is designed to pull you forward. So why are you leaning back?
because it leans in. Like
Yeah, it
that,
leans
very
in.
slightly.
Yeah,
aye.
it pulls you forward. So it's stuff like that. Like fair, like Jordan Peters can put 19,000 plates on a machine. You're not Jordan Peters.
Yeah.
So stop trying to copy him. You'll grow a back with 2 plates doing it properly.
Aye.
So-
And even like Brad Dennis, who's like a freak strength wise, he puts some calibrated plates on it, but that's him. Look at the size of him.
I know,
Like,
exactly. Again, he's earned the right to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but there's actually, it's the same in future fitness as well. I'm kind of getting to that level now where, I remember I'd done my warm-up set on the hack, and there was these 2 boys, just young boys, like they come in wearing school uniform, so they must be young, and doing the prime pull down and like pure crunching with like 4 plates aside. And I just went, boys, take that weight off. It's clearly too heavy. But like, see, it's weird now. Like you start to notice the gen. This is totally taking a tangent now.
we're like the old guys.
I know.
now. I know. I feel like the old guys, to be honest.
You start to see the generational difference between people, because if a big bodybuilder told me to do that when I was 16, I'd be like, oh, cheers, mate, thanks for doing that.
Yeah.
But they were like, oh, and then just walked away. I'm like, right, cool. They're never talking to me again. So I'm trying to help.
Just get Chris to tell him.
That'll go down a treat, that one.
Aye.
So it's a funny industry. It is a funny industry, but I think people are just, again, when it comes to fitness and essentially vanity and the way people look, I think it does come down to people just looking for shortcuts and thinking that there is a secret at the end of the day, but it's definitely not.
Well, another big thing that's in the industry, well, probably over the last 5 years, I think since COVID, it's got bigger and bigger, is like mentoring, like business mentoring with coaches and stuff like that. What's your, have you had any experience with like mentoring beforehand? What was that like? What was your experience like? What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, so the kind of the mentoring thing, when that, like I said, kind of took off COVID time.
Aye.
And I was seeing like posts from mentors, someone who I know personally, I call friends, saying like my client's gone from $3,000 a month to 10 grand and stuff like that. And I was like, all right, okay. I think it's one of the few times, not to kind of be too big headed or anything, but it's one of the few times I feel I've kind of been like drawn in and pulled in by sales. And I started to see it, and I was just like, "Oh, right, okay, I must be doing something. I must, like, don't get me wrong, I was doing well, but I was like, maybe I can just elevate a wee bit more, and they must be doing something." I was like, "No, what I'm going to do? I'll hire a mentor and see if there's something that I'm missing with what I've been doing, because I've done pretty much everything myself thus far. Obviously, like I said, I take inspiration from the industry. I watch how people post, how people conduct themselves, and I was like, I must be missing something. So I went to a business mentor. Lasted 3 months. It was insightful in the sense that it made me realize I'm not actually doing anything nothing I was doing was wrong. It made me realize maybe a wee bit I'm being a little bit like not as proactive as I possibly could be. But to be honest, I really don't think I got anything out of it. It was, other than being a bit more like actually scheduling social media stuff, which I just told you before we started. I still don't do that well, but I have my schedule that I don't follow. But I didn't personally take anything away from it. That's not to say someone else won't. I know plenty of people who have and done very well off the back of mentoring. I think it works well. The kind of people that I've seen personally in my own life, it works well for people who need a little bit of direction, a little bit more of a boot up the arse to get up and do things, a boot up the arse to get on social media, put themselves out there, realize what sales, believe in themselves a wee bit more. I think that's the people that benefit massively from business mentoring is that. So whereas I know plenty of people who would probably say the same experience as me, didn't really get much from it. And that's not, like I said, it's not to say it doesn't work. There's people who take PT and coaching who get nothing from it. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
As well.
But I do feel I was kind of suckered into the sales a wee bit on the business mentoring side, and you see, like, especially the company I went to, they were showing you guys who are like doing 30 grand months and stuff. You're like, what are they doing that I'm not? Like, they must be doing something. In reality,
well, that's what they all are, is really good at sales.
I know.
I feel when they're, well, the experience I had, it was like mega focused on like money and sales, and which I, going into it, never had a very good relationship with. I was kind of talking to Mark about this in the previous podcast. Like, never really had a good relationship with like money and asking for money and stuff like that. Whereas it was like a pure kind of culty vibe of it, and I think you get that off of a lot of them. That vibe off of a lot of them, and I think from what I've heard, they're all really similar in terms of like you get on board and you're all putting it. I don't know if it was the same experience for you. You're putting it in a big group.
Yeah.
And it's like post your wins and you're seeing like you said 30k months and you're like, what the fuck, man?
I know.
They've been in 30 days and they made 17 grand. You're like, they've just made 17 grand in 30 days doing what the shit that you've just said.
Exactly. I remember being in the group for the one that I went to, and I was just like, I don't like that. That culture. I don't know if it's like maybe a Scottish thing. I don't like people sitting in a group talking about how much they're making. I don't think it's anyone's business how much you make. I don't know. It became, as much as we all love money. I think anyone who says they don't is lying. But yeah, it was too much of a kind of money culture.
So it was the kind of same anyway.
Yeah. I would say so. It wasn't. I never chimed in. And did a fuck put into the group what I made that month? No chance.
Yeah.
I would do that. That's just not my thing.
Yeah.
So
I think a lot of them are like that, and I think there is people that do get those wins of like 30Ks, but I think there's a lot of people that feel the exact same way that we did, and that's not to bash every business mentor, because there'll definitely be, well, there's obviously people that are getting really good results from it.
Yeah.
But there will be also people that do a very good job at it as well. Like, again, Mark, who was on the podcast, I'm going to be biased towards him, to be fair. But he definitely does things in a bit of a different way.
Yeah, I mean, they're teaching you how to sell. So obviously they're going to be incredible at sales themselves.
Yeah.
So it's one of those ones. Because I remember I told one of my clients, one of the long-term clients I saw 4 times a week, I was like, I've got this call with a business mentor. She was like, oh, right, okay. And then the next session, I was like, yeah, obviously I signed up. She was like, of course you did. They're salesmen at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Of course you signed up to them.
It's fucking mad money for a lot of them as well. Like, it was fucking stupid money I paid.
I was £500 a month for my one.
I'm not going to say what makes us.
And that wasn't even the top either, so I was kind of like,
I know, and that's it. They've got different tiers to go be in. Like, I wasn't the top one either.
They've got a tier like, if you earn over 20 grand a month, I'm like, who the fuck? If you're earning 20 grand a month, you don't need a business mentor. You've cracked it. You know what I mean? Move on.
And it was what you were saying. I had the same kind of experience of like, you'd said that you wanted to work with the main guy, and there was none of that. I was the exact same. Like, never had any contact. I don't care. It was with Phil Graham. Didn't have any contact with him. It was just all the guys that worked for him.
Yeah.
I personally did get what I wanted out of it to an extent, but I just didn't like the vibe of what it was like in general.
Yeah, like I said, I was saying it was like, I don't care naming names, like Elliot Wise. I know Elliot personally, like I said before we started, and I want to work with him. I like him. And don't get me wrong, James, who I work with, great guy, and obviously very passionate about what he does. He's excellent at what he does, but like I said, it just wasn't for me. And he did help me. There was a spike in my revenue, but I was doing a wee bit more on social media. I was paying more attention to that. So obviously, like, post more, you'll get more essentially. But it just wasn't for me. Like I said, the culture of like essentially bragging about how much money you made, I don't know. That's not for me.
Yeah. So you're not going to be telling anybody you go for a business mentor anytime soon.
Read that as you will.
What would you like? Forget like the coaching side of things. Like, what would be the first things that you would recommend to coaches to help with their business? Would it just be to be more proactive? I know we touched on the gym floor kind of thing, but do you think there's any when you were trying to sort your business or whatever? Like, you're like, I should have done more of that, and that was a game changer. Moving on from the initial getting going. Yeah,
the game changers for me would just be not being afraid to voice my opinion on things. Yeah. I think that's a big thing. I think people, like, I literally just said it earlier, how I couldn't do what John Jewett does because I'd be too worried that people are like, no, that's wrong, mate.
Aye.
But that's obviously the upper echelon of science and all that sort of stuff.
But I think it is the same thing where like newer coaches and stuff, and like worried that somebody's going to jump on and go, by the way, you're wrong. But it might just be differences of opinion. But
yeah, I mean, like, I posted a reel yesterday from Muscle Hut where I just said, look, like, shorten the range for bicep curls because X, Y, Z. And the people that will jump on that, but that's my opinion, and I can back it up.
Aye.
So it's things like that I was really worried about giving my opinion on things, and to an extent, I think I do still hold back a wee bit with my thoughts on certain things when it comes to training, especially. And PEDs and all that sort of stuff, and but yeah, just being confident in your own abilities. But then at the same time, I think one of the biggest things that coaches need to do, and not off the back of that, is actually to maybe sit down, read, sign up to people like John Jewett, and just have a wee, like, just be a student again and learn things, and that way you will be able to convey information and theory a lot better. I mean, I know coaches who I've prepped and worked with who don't even know how salt works in the body, and they're like, really, salt? Yeah, mate, salt. And he probably knows exactly who I'm talking about. I don't. So it's wee things like that. I'm like, really? I've worked with a coach who didn't know a banana was a carb. So that was pretty horrific. I'm just like, that's shocking. That's obviously the extreme. That's obviously the extreme. And he's actually my mate, the guy who about the salt thing. So not to be too high point at it. He knows what salt does when you blah blah blah. But I was more so like, mate, you should try this, you try that, try this, try that. And but yeah, it's some of the knowledge that some coaches have is horrific. So being, like I said, being confident in your opinions, and how you think things should be conducted, but also being a student, being open-minded is definitely what you do. Don't be closed-minded. I've put a post about that before, is if you're too closed-minded and stuck in your ways, it's likely you'll stagnate very, very, very quickly. So I think an example, it's not a huge example, but for instance, I used to bash coaches that use Loom.
Right.
I'm like, that's so fucking lazy. Type it out. Like, you know what I mean? And I was like, and then I used Loom. I was like, that is so much easier to convey what I'm trying to say. And also my fingers were saved. I was like big GH fingers as well. So it's,
or if you're slow as fuck like me, like that. So bad on the computer and lacking technology. So
so like that was I was a bit more open-minded about stuff like that. And yeah, as soon as you are like, no, that's shite, that doesn't work. Because like, have you tried it? No, maybe you should.
And that's you saying it with 10 years experience.
Exactly,
and worked with how many different clients and stuff
Yeah,
like
exactly.
That,
so I definitely, being open-minded, if we're going to sum up, is probably what I recommend coaches do. Just don't be closed off to ideas, even if they sound ridiculous at first. So, yeah.
You say, obviously, you mentioned the being more open to like talking about peds and stuff like that. Now yourself, obviously, we're a big bodybuilder and we're going to talk about peds. So, like, with that side of things, like... We've kind of briefly spoke about it before, but do you feel like that's becoming something that is more common in the industry, not like just with like clients, but do you feel like with coaches that people are just deciding to jump on and do a bit of here and there just because they're like, that's going to help me get clients? Do you think that's, or do you think it is more in the
as in the coach taking stuff?
Coaches, like newer coaches and stuff, like just because we've spoke about like being your own advert and if you're in shape.
Yeah, fair enough, yeah.
Do you think more people are going down that route, or do you think it is more just the kind of client side that
I think it's a bit of both. I think there are far more coaches who, I mean, a perfect example that I know very well is competing. I mean, a lot of coaches feel that standing on stage is going to catapult their business. So yeah, obviously gear's involved in that. So yeah, I do think people are taking that kind of steps. People are far more blasé about lifestyle clients being on stuff, which I'm not going to say is wrong. But
that's what I was going to ask you. What is your opinion of like lifestyle clients, like doing cycles?
Right. So,
because obviously you can take a bit and you can take a lot.
Aye. So if I didn't compete, I wouldn't be on gear. Flat out, I would not be on anything. Maybe that's hindsight. I don't know. But when it comes to lifestyle clients, I will never say you need to take this, you need to take that if you want to make X progress. If a lifestyle client says to me, I want to do this, I'll guide you in the right direction, I'll keep you safe and do all that just to make sure you're not going over the top.
Will there be some things that you would point blank saying, no, we're not doing that?
Like just like stuff you would take.
If it was like Tren, let's say.
Yeah, you don't need to use Tren. I don't use Tren. So
well, neither do I.
Yeah, exactly. So like, do you need to be using mad amounts of growth hormone? No. Do you need to be using insulin? Absolutely not. Does a lifestyle client need to be using insulin? If you want to take your if you want to take your physique to that level, compete then, and at least apply it to something. But like lifestyle clients, you're maybe advising a TRT dose of test and maybe some sort of second compound at a very low dose, or if they're going on holiday, like I'm willing to use a fat burner. Okay, fine, cool, that's fine. I'll give you the advice on that. A wee bit of clen, a wee bit of XYZ, whatever it is. That's fair enough. But it's running bodybuilder cycles when you're never planning to step on stage. I think that's pretty stupid, to be honest.
Because I always feel like I think loads of people come to me more now that I own a gym, weirdly, and ask me about it, and I obviously try to like stave them off to an extent and like try to make them understand the longer term consequences of it's like you might take TRT and you might be shut down, by the way. Like, but from going from like test, I always feel like most people, they're like, right, I want to take trend now, and you're like, no,
like you absolutely don't. No,
I actually had a client, and I wonder if he will watch this or not. And he did this. I was like, mate, no, don't do it. He ended up finishing up with me, and then he was going to come back, and he just sent me when he was coming back a wee vial of the trend, and I was like, where the fuck did you? It was like the weirdest. I've never seen it before as well. And I was like, where the fuck did you get that from? I was like, don't take it. He obviously took it, came back on board, and I was like, right, don't do any more than that because he's already taken it. And then lo and behold, a couple of weeks later, he's like, mate, I'm mega anxious and I can't sleep and all that. And I'm like,
funny that.
I fucking told you not to take it. And then he ended up coming off and listening to me again.
Exactly. That's the thing as well, is like I give you an example outside. It's just like, I've done this. I've done, I would say ridiculous dosages, but I have pushed it. So I know what does work, the ceilings, what's applicable, when you need to use X, Y, Z. And it's as if people who, with very little experience, turn around and be like, no. I'm like, okay, cool. So, but yeah, it's more prevalent in the mainstream now. Bodybuilding's more mainstream than when I started. Like in 2012, like I was from Aberdeen, there was maybe a handful of guys that competed. Like literally 5 I could probably think off the top of my head. Whereas now, everyone knows about gear. It's insanely accessible. I was actually talking to like one of my pharmacist clients a while back, and she's like, a lot of young guys are coming into the pharmacy asking for needles and injecting equipment and stuff. I was like, yeah. And she was like, how easy is it to get? I was like, I can have stuff in the gym in an hour. She was like, she was blown away by that. I was like, it's so easy. It's probably easier than me coming into your pharmacy and picking up, like, I don't know, suntan lotion. Well, I mean, not that, but that easy. But it's very, very easy. And
trying to get an antibiotic these days is
there you go.
harder than getting.
There you go. So
I was saying that you could probably get them easier enough in the black market.
I know. For some people, can you get any of that, mate? And so the prevalence of it in the mainstream means that it will trickle through to lifestyle clients, to people in the industry, and that's something that people need to be very aware. I think I'm speaking about it at your seminar, and is that there is that prevalence there. So here's how I feel you should be addressing it, how I feel you should be approaching clients and dealing with clients who do want to use PEDs and performance-enhancing drugs. And I mean, at the end of the day as well, you have to be very aware of your reputation. If you have a reputation of putting lifestyle people on mad amounts of PEDs, that will travel about. There'll be people who actually come to you for that, maybe, but for the most part, you don't want to be known as that guy or girl who sticks all their clients on ship tons of fat burners or worse, like
just to go on holiday.
Just to go on holiday, exactly.
So we were talking about that, obviously, when we stop in bodybuilding. I'm not going to like stop bodybuilding altogether, but what you asked me what my plans were going to be like with ped-wise, and I'm the same as you. Like, I don't plan to do anything close to what I was doing. It'll be TRT.
There's absolutely no need,
and go from there. Like
that's that,
do you think that? Well, we feel like in the last 5 or 10 years, it's definitely became a big. Even in the last few years, actually, became a bigger and bigger thing that just the average Joe is like going, oh, I'm going to take TRT, and you're like, do you need it? Like, have you actually got low
test? Do you know what that means? Exactly. Do you know what that means? Yeah.
So, like, I always say, go get actually get your test taken. I mean, there's no point otherwise. But do you think there's going to be like a lot of repercussions down the line, like potentially where like people doing random shit like run and train when they have no business doing that?
Yeah,
kind
potentially.
Of thing?
That's
or even like bodybuilding being bigger now. I suppose that there is a lot more people doing all this stuff.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, like we're the same age, a year older than me.
A year older.
So we'll soon see in 20, 25 years' time who. Off the back of,
if we're still here,
I'm probably talking about me actually. But like I said to you before, and I've said it on numerous podcasts before, I'm so happy that I met the right people in this industry when I started using, and avoided some people with regards to like what they advised to do. And had I listened to other people who were in the gym at the time that when I started, would I still be here in terms of, not alive, but like in terms of like still pushing bodybuilding? I'm going to say no. And that's what I say to young guys is and young clients, whether they compete or not, if you use a ton now at 20, where are you going to be when you're 30? Like, you're not going to be bodybuilding, full stop.
You kind of see that with like, even with the proper pros, like that are like right at the top. If you're dead young and you're right up there, they never stay up there that young.
No.
It drops off. Like I think you need a slow rise, don't you?
Yeah,
to really
definitely
stay in the game that long.
Yeah, I mean, like in Scotland, there's me, Ross Carr, and Ryan Gabon. I think that's the only 3 guys that came up in the same area that are still around. In the UK, I can maybe name a handful, like Josh Law. He's had some issues recently as well, like with his physique. Drew Walker.
James Salted.
James would probably count into that group, yeah. It's a very, very small amount of guys who came up through the 2010s and onward that are still around competing because we didn't take the piss.
Yeah.
Didn't take the piss, and then we built tolerances up and we built the physique up where the physique actually demands these drugs rather than the other way around. So, like I said, I'm glad I listened to who I listened to back in the day. Yeah. So,
well, the other big thing now is peptides, isn't it? We've kind of briefly spoke about. Well, I messaged you the other day about it and your thoughts. Just want to get your thoughts on it here. Like, you can name a million of them. I'm not too clued up on
literally a million of them.
Too many of them. The big one that everybody mentions is retatrutide. You've obviously got BPC, TB, and whatever the other ones are, Moxie, all that shit. Some of them probably, or maybe they will, turn out to be great, amazing things. People are raving about like Reta and stuff. What's your overall thoughts? Like, you use much of this or whatever?
Yeah, so of the new age stuff, I have, what have I used? I've used NEC, not NEC? NED, sorry. NED. I've used NED. Didn't see anything from that. No.
Is that Ricky told me that you get like a great kind of energy boost from that? Like, none?
No.
All right. You get nothing.
I know. No, that was £150 pen.
You can actually get that like through like blood clinics and all that now, can't
you?
Yeah.
That was £150 pen, and that was discounted as well. Didn't notice anything from that. I've used TB and BPC way back when, before the resurgence of it now. What's your experience of using that?
Hit and miss. I think it helped in my knee there, but it never helped me with anything else, my shoulder or my elbow.
So I used it with a few kind of injuries I had back in the day. I didn't see anything. But then, like the likes of Jack Gunn, he swears by it. So I think people have different. But then Jack was using like a bottle a day.
He told me he was doing some mad stuff.
So
because when it happened to my knee, well, obviously his was a lot different to me. He was like, I was doing a mental protocol.
Aye, exactly. So was Aaron Hudson when he tore his quads off.
Right, okay.
So that's what I said to one of my mates the other day is, see if this hype is still the way it is in a year's time, then I'll maybe jump on the train a wee bit. But I'd like to just see where everything goes at this point, because I think it's a combination of two things. There's a shortage of DHTs right now worldwide, so people are kind of looking to different avenues to enhance their physique. And also, gear has been spoken about to death. There's nothing else to talk about steroids anymore. Everyone knows not everything,
we need
but
something else.
So we need something else to talk about, and these kind of drugs, which have actually been on the scene for quite a while, like the GLPs, they've been around for 40 plus years.
It's just right, it's not past all the kind of tests.
Exactly. So,
but it's meant to be like the next level, isn't it?
I've used it with two clients, and I didn't really notice anything from it. I'm not using it myself. I'm currently using it with one other clients, but we want to see the impact on his lipid profile off the back of using it, because obviously there's good reported advantages.
That's it. It's just everybody reporting. Like,
exactly.
I feel great, like, and I've lost this amount and all that, and like, I don't know, like.
Yeah, I think.
And it's relying that the Reta that you're getting is actually fucking Reta.
Exactly, and not just backwater.
Because it could be fucking anything.
The
now anyway.
It could be something like Monjaro, which is nowhere near as good as Reta. So.
And it's just doing similar, or giving you the similar feeling of like, you can lose a shit ton of weight on it or something like that.
So like you'll remember it as well as the I think we spoke about this, is the GHRPs from like 2015. Everyone was raving about them. It will supersede growth hormone. There was 1 million of them as well. No one takes them anymore. So that's why I'm like, let's give this a year, see where the likes of Slew, Mott, see where they end up, and see if they have any kind of benefits. If there's more literature that comes out with them, absolutely I'll jump on board. But it's one of those ones where I'm just a wee bit skeptical about them.
I think it is as well, just because there is some people that are so highly thought of in the industry that do that promote them and rave about them, and they probably do have like
monetary connections.
I
know one in particular who definitely does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it becomes convincing in that kind of way, and then you get on the hype train, you see all these other bodybuilders, then you start seeing like people that are really into the gym and just want to see improvements, and they're like, there's no side effects. And you're like, we don't fucking know that yet.
You don't know that. Yeah,
I think that'll be the big thing, like what's going to come out potentially. From that. Nothing's going to be that good and have no negative impact.
Exactly.
That's what I think. Anyway.
No, I completely agree. And like, is it Manjaro or the other one? What's it called again?
Ozempic.
Ozempic's got like $1 billion worth of lawsuits in play right now. Like people experiencing like really horrific issues with their digestion and things like that. Like even the clients who have used Retta, they're like they feel horrendous and they've got this issue, that issue. They come off it, they go away. Yeah. Like these things, I'm not saying they're not safe. Like everything has obviously an element of risk to it, but when it comes to anabolics, a lot of these anabolics are developed for specific reasons. Like Mastron was used for breast cancer, so there's thousands of clinical trials on it. Same with testosterone, growth hormone. Yeah. We know all these things, and when
they were actually approved, these have not been approved yet.
Exactly, yeah. So like that's why I'm like, let's give this a little bit more time, see how things unfold, and again, if the hype's there in a year's time, then I'll think about doing it myself. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's a wee bit overhyped just now. Yeah. And you can kind of pinpoint why. Yeah. Yeah. So.
All right, fair enough. So you're not going to be using that in your next prep anyway?
No. I mean, I like you look at the effects of SLU. Like a lot of people kind of do.
What's that meant before?
It has a kind of a fat loss. Like a lot of people are now subbing that for Clen. So obviously Clen is a stimulant. It can make you jittery and things like that, affect your sleep. Whereas people are saying that SLU can't. I was like, when there's something you take away, there's something you have to add. So what's SLU doing in the background that we don't know about? We don't know. Yeah. So that's why I'm a wee bit.
Is it meant to work on the same kind of like pathways?
Not the same pathways, no. But it's.
So then that makes you think, why would they replace it and not?
Yeah. Well, what people like coaches like Kyle Wilkes said, like rather than running 120 Clen, we can now run 40 with the SLU. And then that means we kind of get like a joint effect while mitigating side effects. So I totally understand that, and I agree with that. Like for instance, there's like I use finasteride for my hair, and one of the peptides that's out just now is RU5581, I think, something like that. Aye, I know it sounds like a droid from Star Wars. And there's been like bodybuilders, obviously not clinical studies of people showing. Of using just say like half their finasteride dose, but then also using this peptide because they kind of do certain like slightly different things in order to protect hair, rather than running a high finasteride, just say at the prescribed dose of just say 1 milligram or even higher than that, and it impacts like your sexual health, your libido, things along that DHT does for you, and running the two together in conjunction seems to maybe produce better results. But like that's the one I'm maybe thinking about doing, but that's just for hair. It's not to do with my performance and that. So yeah, like
I know because there literally is, I don't know, hundreds of them.
There must be for like every like tiny bodily function you could possibly think of. There must be some sort of peptide for it.
That way anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll not be that blunt, any of that stuff. I don't need to. The peptide, the stuff for my knee and all that was as far as I was going. Don't know if it was just because if it was naturally healing a little bit quicker. It obviously wasn't anything majorly serious. But the other times it did nothing for me. So
yeah. As I say, I didn't notice anything from either. So
what is the plans comp wise and stuff now? Was it last year or this year? This year you were going to compete.
Yeah, I was going to start competing prepping in May, and then as the prep approached, I was kind of like, my head's not in this. I'm not liking what I see in the mirror. So I'll give myself a wee bit more time. Like 33 for a bodybuilder is an open bodybuilder is still very young, so I've got plenty of time. So give myself a wee bit more time, and I've brought my physique up to a point that I like and I'm confident going into. Again, I'm not going to win shows. I'm not going to
go to
the Olympia, but I want to present something that blows my 2024 look out of the water. So I need a wee bit more time. So hoping May, I like to do an American show. Assuming like the schedule is relatively same to this year, and then I want to get in front of American judges for the first show, and then maybe do another American, and definitely finish at the M Pro in Spain. Because I love.
Is that June, May?
It was usually the mid weekend in June.
Right.
So that's the plan anyway, and finish there, and hopefully my girlfriend does that show as well, and kind of finish at the same time. So it'd be pretty cool.
Right.
But yeah, hopefully 3 shows, and just kind of see what happens. Just get the ball rolling and listen to the feedback. If the feedback's this guy shouldn't even be bothering, then I'll have a sit down with myself and ask if I hear positive things, then I'll pursue it. So that's the kind of way I'm looking at it.
When they give feedback, like, because it's obviously different, I've just completed the PCA and stuff like that, with like IFBB, when they give feedback, are they pretty brutal, or are they...
I'm guessing the Pro League, like, because you are such a small group of guys, I'm sure like their feedback's maybe a little bit more thorough. What I'd love to do is go see Steve Weinberger, the head judge for the Olympia, go to his office in New York and just stand in front of him and just have him rip me to fucking bits, because I want him to say, mate, this is probably not for you. I come from, like, I've played sport my whole life. I like being criticised and being told I'm not good at something, so I'll be better at it. That's what I'd love to do, but obviously I could go do that. I mean, you can actually book to go see him in that. So
is that right?
Yeah.
Is that a fucking fortune?
I don't know how much it is, but I know you can like arrange to meet him at his gym, and he'll have a look at you.
Actually, most of the Olympians even go do that. So like,
there's that famous scene from Generation I where Victor Martinez goes and sees him, and he's just like, mate, don't compete.
He's like, nah, don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it. So, but yeah, next year's about me trying to better my 2024 look, and just seeing if there's something there. And like, I don't want to, as much as I love bodybuilding, it's been my life since I was 16, and it's all I know. Like, everyone in my life is through bodybuilding in some way. But if I'm not going to risk my health, my career, just to try and get something that's never going to be achievable. I'm quite a realist in that way.
Have you thought about like never mind like what the feedback is, like a potential like deadline for you of like, this is when I'm going to stop?
3
like that?
3 years.
You think 3
I'll
years?
give myself 3 seasons at least.
What if you're then like hitting the Olympias and stuff?
Then I'll keep going.
Then you'll keep going.
Then I keep
Makes
going.
sense though, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, there are people who, like my first coach, when I told him I turned pro, because I messaged him on Facebook. He's completely off the scene now, so I had to find him on Facebook. And I said to him, like, thanks for investing in me. Like, you didn't charge me. You actually gave all my gear for free and all that as well. Gave me a gym membership for free. I thanked him just to kind of obviously he helped propel me through the juniors and that. And he said, well, next goal's Olympia then. And like my coach, Nick, he thinks I can do really well in pro shows. So, like, I believe I can. And that's obviously the main thing, but I need to step foot in that realm first before. It's nice to dream, and obviously every bodybuilder who competes thinks about how far can I take this. Yeah. And if I can get to Olympia, that would be obviously a dream come true.
Any Scots that have got to Olympia? Bodybuilding?
Open men, I'm not sure. I don't know how, in terms of like history maybe pre-80s, I have no idea, but after the 80s, no. Alex Small got there through fitness, the female class, but in terms of open bodybuilding, no. Not one that I know of. I'm sure there are.
So that's maybe some opportunity for the history.
Aye. So hopefully, that'd be that's the ultimate goal. Obviously, is the Olympian. I think I can do that.
Right.
But like I said, I'm not going to waste years for something that's never going to happen. So
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Good. What about, you got plans coming up, business wise, coaching wise, things that you're looking to do going forward? Is it really continue to stay on the path that you're on with the coaching? Or?
Yeah, I think I touched on it earlier about how I'm not a prep coach. I'm not a full-time prep coach. I don't want to be at this point in my career. I'm trying to be as good a bodybuilder as I possibly can be. And when you're going to shows every single weekend, that's not doable. I mean,
like even the end of the year, there must have been quite tough. Like
that was I only had 2 clients.
Exactly, for a few clients.
Exactly. So it was like it took me all week to catch up with that in terms of sleep and stuff, and just feeling all right. Sessions suffered off the back of it. There's a reason why the top guys in the industry, I just say if you name the top 10, aren't, other than Cuba, aren't really doing much in their way of their own competing, or if anything, I think some of them don't even train.
Look at the big ones in the UK, like Cal and Tom Hames and stuff like that. They're not competing. So. Yeah,
like Cal doesn't, at his peak, I think he's kind of quieted down a wee bit just now. But I remember being around him at his peak, and he was just like, he wasn't sleeping. All he drank was Monster. Like, I was like, that is not the life for me. I remember saying that to Greg.
He like stopped training and everything.
I know,
well,
I know.
like.
I remember when I went to Alicante with Greg, and I remember just observing Cal there, and it's incredible, obviously, what he's built. And the team around him and all that sort of stuff. But I remember saying to Greg when we got back to his apartment, I was like, mate, I can never do that. That is not appealing to me at all. So
so stressed all the time.
Like my balance of PT, online prep, and posing as well, posing clients. I love the balance I have, and I can do my own bodybuilding. I can have a bit of a life and a social life as well. I'm not, like I said, at shows every single weekend. Other than the Scottish season, I'm at every single show, but I'm not up and down the M6 every single weekend. So
it's all right when it's the Scottish ones, and it's a bit of a social aspect as well.
Like, like I love them. I still to this day I get so excited for shows like obviously when we were competing in Hull, like getting up at like 5 to come see you and stuff. I love that. I really do love it, but I couldn't do it every weekend. And so I'm just all about kind of maintaining the balance I have just now. I'd love to work with more competitors, but not to the extent where it's kind of like I have too many.
Like it's hard work.
Exactly. And so where it gets to the point where I'm having to skip training sessions or skip meals, I think that's when I'll be like, this is a bit too much. So that I'm all about kind of maintaining that balance. I love working with a massive demographic, so just kind of maintaining that. Really, I don't really have any ambition to kind of like push for it. I have my cap where I'm comfortable in terms of like numbers of clients, and knowing that cap means that I don't overstretch myself and things like that. So I think I like where I am just now. We spent the whole podcast talking about you need to do more, you need to do more, you need to do more.
But that's what we're meaning that like more when it's like when you start.
Coming up on that.
Like you're 10 years in, you're pretty established. Won pro cards and stuff. And there's plenty of transformations there, and they're like, I think you don't need to be working everyone. I think it is. It's like earning the balance.
Yeah.
Even like when it comes to like physique, it's a lot easier to maintain a well-built physique than it is to.
Yeah, exactly.
To have all the balance and
you hear like some like again we joke about having a laptop sitting by a pool in Dubai, but you've got people who's like, I don't want to work this hours, I don't want to work that hours. Like, no, you should. Like, if you've got a client who wants to do a Sunday session, you do a fucking Sunday session. Tough. That's the way it needs to. That's the way it needs to happen. So, but yeah, like you said, we've both earned the right to have balance, and I'm all about maintaining that just now. And if bodybuilding does stop, the competitive side of things. I will absolutely ramp up the contest prep side of things where I can justify going away at weekends and stuff like that. But for now, I'm very content with where I am. So,
cool.
Yeah.
Class.
What about yourself? What are you planning? You're taking the coaching stuff further.
No, I'm backing off from coaching now. Like I've kind of been steadily since we opened the gym. I had to keep everything going because the gym wasn't making any money. So I had to work every hour in there, do every single thing with clients and stuff like that. So like again, it's earning the balance. Gym's went really well, so I've like gradually been pulling back, and then kind of had a big change at the start of what we on 2025. Pulled back a good bit, so I'm only coaching like 20 people now. So it'll kind of be to like maintain that, I think, and then focus on the gym. And just building that up and getting things perfect, to be honest.
Is owning a gym what you thought it would be? Like, you know, like we all dream about having our own gym, you know what I mean?
Aye and no. I didn't really think about I say the negatives, it's only wee things, but it's wee things that annoy you, like block toilet, people putting holes in the walls. Like, you just don't see it as a member. Like, never ever really thought of any of that stuff.
Was it not Mark Coles who said, it was him or someone like him, where they said, being a coach and a PT, obviously, that's the dream of owning your own gym. But as soon as you then own a gym, you're not a coach or a PT anymore, you're a gym owner.
Yeah.
And that goes, like, that's what you are now, because you've got to deal with, like, council rates, water, bills. You're then, you know what I mean?
Water? We're paying for water.
That's like in Scotland. It's ridiculous, I know.
And,
that's one of the things Jason
even
like
all
the
council, like council tax, or no, not even council, like business rates.
The rates,
and then that's the fucking worst thing in the world. Like, no, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like straight off top line, done. Like,
it's wild. It's strange because like physios, I'm pretty sure aren't charged VAT. So why are...
Yeah, I think it's health stuff. I know.
So what PTs and coaches and gyms are.
I seen that there's a guy down south that owns like an independent gym, and he was going on about see all the council gyms. I don't know if it's just in Scotland or maybe it must be in England. They don't need to pay VAT. I don't know, there was something about council gyms, but all the independent gyms do.
Right, okay.
Can get it if it's like pure gym and shit. They're like massive.
Yeah.
But like all these independent gyms are like VAT done. I don't know. It'd be a big help.
Aye. So no, but I've obviously watched it, what you've built, and but I've still yet to come through. Admittedly, that's quite bad of me. But
it's good you've waited because it's got better and better. Like we're like,
aye. Like so I do plan on coming through with Craig and filming a session there. So excited for that.
Not just because I put it on your Instagram. Like
maybe a wee bit.
That's where we want it.
That's something. Come on, mate, go.
But this time next year, it'll be pretty much exactly how I want it. Because we'll have all the prime stuff that I want in. We'll have good few Atlantis bits and stuff. It'll be almost like finished.
Aye.
Aesthetic wise, even though it's been finished, but I'm just adding more.
Aye.
So it's class.
No, it's good. It's good to see, mate. It's good to see.
The next thing.
No.
You know what it's like. You never.
Would you do another one?
Aye, 100%.
Would you?
Aye. Because I'm like, this is great. It's bigger than what I was planning when we first started.
Aye.
But now I'm like, I want a big fucking gym. I want like, an Ultraflex gym.
Aye. Quite right.
It'd be class to like build. I know like there's definitely gyms that are starting to do that kind of thing in Scotland, but to have one of them myself would be brilliant.
Yeah, definitely.
So we'll see what happens.
That's class, mate.
But no, I appreciate you coming on, mate. That was class. Do you want to tell everybody where to find you, like Instagram, YouTube, and all that stuff, don't you?
Yeah, so it's AMS Muscle on Instagram and AMS Muscle on YouTube. What else do I do? I don't really do TikTok, but you can do it if you want.
Have you got a TikTok?
I do, but there's like 3 posts on it. I was just like, I can't be arsed.
No, I'm the same, but I'm doing it a wee bit more consistently.
It's like TikTok and Instagram. I was like, for fuck's sake, you know what I mean? And then you can find all my contact details through Instagram, my website, amsmuscle.com, andy@amsmuscle.com, email. It's all just amsmuscle. Just type in amsmuscle to Google, you'll find me.
I'll put it all at the bottom anyway. But
cheers, mate. I appreciate that.
No, classmate. Thanks
so much. Cheers for having me.